Hello and welcome to New Platinum Content. This is Dikuth's Band of Merry Men. Uh, we're streaming our next episode as the band picks up shortly after finding themselves in clean oxygen and being able to breathe freely for the first time uh, since they've entered the shrine, this dungeon, whatever they may call it. They proceeded up along the stairways and encountered a room that, as they stepped foot in it, came to life and began to affect them in different ways. Parts of the room, basically, the room symbolized layers of hell and the different layers of hell in this culture. And different parts of the room. One room was shifting sands and caused them heat and begin bleeding from their nose and heat exhaustion and all of that. Another part of the room was icy and frosted over, and another part was open plains. They found very quickly that if they stayed on the well-used paths, that they were unaffected by these environment changes, and quickly ran to the nearest door that they found. In that door, after Kovash bashed it open, they encountered a gibbering mouther that began to play with and create weird things in their minds and begin to affect them in different ways. But before it was able to affect them greatly, they were able to defeat it and pretty much slice it in half. As they left that room, they quickly found out that on top of the hill there was some sort of tunnel works that led them to some other level. After quickly getting through that tunnel and coming out, they discovered two wells, which they decided to basically not do anything with, as it seemed to rumble and shift at different phrases and disturbances. As they continued on, um, they entered another room that seemed to be filled with many gems, jewels, and gold. And in the center was this large, statuesque centaur. And as they cracked open the next doorway, which was this giant jade block, they actually crossed the threshold out of this room, and that caused the centaur to come to life and begin attacking them. It caused a little bit of damage to a few of the members of the group before they were able to, with quick thinking and jealous, quick uh, strikes to the forelegs brought the creature to the ground, and they were able to kill it quite quickly. Unfortunately, Jealous Blade broke in the process partly, and that is where we'll pick up as the rest of the room begins to settle. A lot of this dust and ash from this centaur begins falling to the ground as you all are still kind of breathing heavily from the mix of battle and adrenaline. Uh, so, what is it you guys would like to do?
I am going to examine my blade and see how fucked up it is.
You could give me an investigation check if you like.
Can I go try and take the piece of the blade that's sticking out of the wall?
Yeah, you can grab it. It's not
Uh,
dug too far in. It's just partly chipped in. It seems to have found its way into the stonework where it met another piece of stone. You quickly unwedge it and grab it out.
all right.
Jelen, as you look over the blade, it seems like the crack caused it to cleanly cut away. There is no ragged edges in the break. It seems that it's just a clean cut, and that it could probably be forge welded back together or fixed or repaired in another way. It's not that terrible actually once you look over it. Yes, you cast Witch Bolt on the Mothering Gibber, which then electrocuted Sif.
Did you get this sulking because of the headdress that got destroyed?
Cleaved into.
I will go and gather my missing blade part. which is behind yourself.
You
I
actually
actually-
see Sif bringing it over to you, I assume.
As he's bringing it over, he's actually gonna kind of like look over the the metal composition a little bit, just pretty much confirming what kind of metal it is before offering it forward.
It's a little bit different than. I mean, metals are metals. It's definitely forged a little bit differently. I don't know if you've ever seen any kind of elven forgery before.
I worked with the dwarves in the forgery in the fortress, so
Yes,
unfortunately,
this is very different than them.
yes, theirs may not have broken in such a manner, but yours also seems to have cut in times when others wouldn't. It was interesting.
I don't know if there's anybody in these parts that knows how to make one of these, but I think I'll figure something out.
For clarification, I'm pretty sure a bunch of people told us that no civilization is on this island.
Did they?
Yes, no one ever comes back from here.
That's not the same as saying there's no civilization on this island.
That might give more reason to say that there is something that lives here and prevents
I
things
can
from
always
leaving.
go see my guy Gregor the blacksmith.
It's just gonna move over by Kovash and is gonna kind of hop over the area over with Bjolf and put his torch over through.
Did we go through this door?
That's
We
where you...
came through that door.
Before any of you go on, I'll answer Dick's question here. Just as a reminder, there was that large center slab of marble that the centaur was standing on. And then scattered around the room are jewelry and knickknacks made of beaten copper, cut and polished obsidian, shells, quartz, and coral. Much of the treasure is at the feet of the centaur symbolically being trod underfoot. And then two tall urns shaped like wicker baskets stand along the northern wall, each one filled with river stones. And Kevin, I'm gonna throw another loop back at you. You were right. The guide is actually wrong. They had another mistake in the actual wording. So north is this side.
Because the last room had it switched around.
I know. I can show you the actual paragraph. It's literally, I went back over it and I was like, all right. Yep. So north side of the wall is over here. And basically, Dikuth, everything that looks valuable, like that shield on the ground, and several of the blades are either rusted or broken. And much of the value seems to be lost in a lot of this treasure.
Dicketh kind of shrugs and keeps walking.
Katra would collect a few pieces of obsidian, anything.
Okay. There's a bunch of cut and polished obsidian all over the room. Anything else for anybody else, or are we?
You said that there was like jewelry.
Yeah. Well, there's shells, quartz, and coral, jewelry and knickknacks made of beaten copper, and then following those materials, that jewelry is made out of those same materials. So like, there's shell jewelry and quartz jewelry all over the room.
Is anyone good with history or geography?
Bill, maybe we should wait for the others.
Probably. And Katra will probably Katra will also just start picking up like all of the jewelry he sees.
All right, there's a
You're the
lot.
scholar here, Katra.
On a scale of 1 to how much would you quantify it? What's your answer?
Like, 800 pieces scattered amongst the room.
So we'll probably pick up like 20 of the best looking pieces.
All right, that'd probably take you like 10 minutes to like sort those out. All right. So yeah, you all see Katra begin going through pieces of jewelry on the ground, picking it up. What are the rest of you doing? Oh,
Beal, I think they're doing things back there still.
It's just straight up muscled past me, so you shouldn't just be yelling at me.
I said Jelena and Beal.
I did not understand that.
I said Jeleneth and Beowulf.
Can I investigate the ground for footprints or dust?
Sure.
It's a cold hard ground.
Well, it's honestly hard. The 5 foot diameter passage is dry and dusty, but from what you can tell, it shows no sign of being used in ages. Other than that, you don't really see much other than the corner continues on past that.
It's just like a regular hallway, like nothing on the written on the walls or nothing.
You can give me an investigation check as you look up.
Oh, should I do that.
As you do look up, you do see that near the top of the corridor walls, about 3 feet from the ceiling, stone lintels run the length of this entire passage.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Anything on it, or do I not see that?
You can check.
I would like to, yeah.
You just feel around. You reach up. It just seems you pull fingers away and it's just really dusty. And actually, there wasn't really anything up there.
Right.
What are the rest of you doing?
Dikuth is just waiting for Katra to hurry up and finish what he's doing. Otherwise, I'm just standing around.
No one ever answered my question if we went through this door.
That's where
We
we
came
from.
through that door.
Okay, then I will exit through this way.
Oh. Okay.
If after everyone kind of follows after, we'll be the last one to
wait.
follow after.
Say that again.
As everyone's kind of coming out, Sif will move to the back of the line and kind of keep an eye on our back as we're moving forward.
As they come out, Kovash steps into the hall.
Alrighty. What are the rest of you doing? Are you guys continuing down, or are you just standing here, or
Adjusting things in the character sheet. I figured with the broken blade, I can only use one end, which means I can't use the Revenant Blade feature, which means my AC goes down by 1 as well.
Oof. Big oof.
Big oofs.
All right, Jelena. Seems like you've
All right.
got the party behind you at the moment.
So I whisper behind me, or I don't whisper, I say behind me, so no one else has been up here yet. There's a lot of dust, no footprints, as far as I can see, so I think it's just just us up here, but let's be careful nonetheless. And group stealth, around the corner.
Give me a stealth check. Alright. Beowulf, are you wearing heavy armor as a cleric? I can never remember.
I'm not.
Alright.
I was wearing chainmail.
Oof.
Nice. Even at disadvantage, I
I
got
have
18.
advantage.
I got the net, so hopefully.
No.
And Sif. Oof.
Oh.
Alrighty. So, you all begin moving, and normally, up until this point, it's been Dikuth or it's been Sif who's made a lot of noise, a lot of their armor jingling and jangling. But as Katra begins walking down the hallway, you all just hear this loud clink of jewelry with every step.
Oh, that jewelry.
Just
800
clink,
pieces.
clink, clink, clink,
800
clink,
pieces.
clink, 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 clink. So so that kind of echoes down the hallway in front of you a little bit. All right.
Wait, is Catcher all the way in the back?
I believe so.
Is it one of those things where like we walk up and then we hear it and we all just stop and we all look back at him?
And then Biff points down and is like, "That's him, not me."
John.
Then clank, but that's me.
The corridor abruptly widens to a cube 15 feet on a side with a corrugated floor. In the ceiling of this area, a bronze circular trap door is set. The cover is latched shut. In the four corners...
At the ceiling?
Yeah, at the top of the ceiling.
Okay.
In the four corners of this foyer are sets of metal rungs forming a ladder that leads up and across the arched ceiling to the trap door. The rungs are broken in several places, leaving rusty spikes. On the other side of the area, the corridor continues.
You guys checked out?
I mean, this definitely looks like a trap. So 4 corners, right?
Yes, sir.
With the metal rungs.
In each corner, yes, sir. That are more like spikes at this point, after having rusted away.
And then trap door in the ceiling made of bronze. Just out of curiosity, I'll take one of my torches and just toss it at the far rungs. Say this corner.
Okay.
See what happens.
Unlit or lit?
Unlit.
All right. So you toss it, and it hits the wall, and nothing seems to happen. A few minutes pass. Nothing happens.
Okay. I don't know what to make of this. I'm gonna get low down to the ground. I'm gonna kind of like crawl forward and just try to see if the floor plates is weird at all. Like if it pops up or if like a weird push.
Sure.
Yeah.
You all watch as Jonath gets down low and begins to like pretty much infant crawl across the floor. And at first you're you're like, and she makes it, and I don't know how far you're going, Jonath, but as soon as you hit like right here, nothing apparent seems to happen. Nothing changes. The wood on the floor that you had thrown doesn't change, and the floor doesn't shift at all.
I don't know what the trap is. There's definitely a trap to this room, right, guys? Like, there's gotta be. This is such a weird setup.
Maybe the trap goes off if you open the trap door.
That doesn't sound like sound logic.
Let's check down the long way first.
Well,
Make sure there's no traps leading across to the other end.
wait a minute though. We're going up. What if the trap is for people trying to break in?
What if the trap floods the room with water?
Okay, guys. Do you trust me?
I mean, I've jumped in. I've come down into a shrine where we've all nearly died, and rode a boat where we were attacked by pirates. I think trust isn't a question.
Okay. Gonna take a leap of faith. And I just gonna leap across the room to the other hallway, jumping over this entire middle part.
Alright. Go ahead and give me an athletics check real quick. You all watch as Jonath gets back up, and she takes a step back, and she leaps through the air and lands on the other side.
That's it?
That's it.
Nothing happened?
Nothing seems to happen.
Question though, don't we want to go up?
Yes.
You suddenly see Bjolf just jump over right at you as well, Jonath. You have to like slip to the side as he comes careening across.
Yes, we want to go up, but I don't know where that up goes. Plus, it's like what, 15 feet up in the ceiling? You said, right? 10 feet ceiling.
Let me double
I
check.
can fly.
Yeah, it's about 15, 20 feet up.
But you said they're like ladder rungs?
Yeah, they're kind of like ladder rungs. Most of them are broken in several places, leaving kind of just like rusty spikes.
I reach them from here? You said there's a set
Oh, yeah.
in.
They're on each corner. They start from the base and go up. Seems
Kovash
like,
instead grabs it without stepping on the floor. He just pulls himself straight onto the ladder
okay.
and goes up and tries to check around the trapdoor.
What are you checking for?
Traps, will it open?
All right, give me an investigation check.
Dikuth actually kind of pushes Katra 5 feet back and steps back as well, if Katra doesn't resist.
You notice that the cover is obviously latched shut. You'd have to undo the latch. That's apparent. The locking mechanism. You don't see anything else as you kind of are stretching to look over at it.
Guys, I think I just have to open these latches. Do you want to clear out and be ready and I can check the door?
Do it.
Sure.
I proceed to undoing the latches to try and open the trapdoor.
Alrighty.
Dikuth readies his shield.
Give me an athletics check, please, Kovash. As you begin undoing this latch, it's actually pretty heavy. All right. So as you unlatch the trap door, you watch, kind of faster than anything you've ever seen, the door explodes open downwards as you are suddenly hurled to the floor, Kovash. And it's with such force that you actually take, 1 point of bludgeoning damage as you slam into the floor. And a whirlwind begins to form at this trapdoor and immediately fills the space of this 15-foot hallway. Bjolf,
Yeah.
Kovash, I need you both to make a strength saving throw. All right.
Try to catch her if she gets lifted up
Alright.
and like pull her in.
Boy, it's a boy.
Yeah, sorry. Boy, sorry. I keep
Where
forgetting.
I have a goatee on, Kevin.
Ooh.
You're the
so,
female in the group telling it.
Bjolf, you've just landed on the other side. You've kind of taken in your surroundings. You're turning around, and you watch Kovash like immediately open this trap door. And as soon as it's opened, you're sucked forward into this whirlwind, and it shoots you around for like about a second before slamming you back into this wall over here onto one of the metal rungs, immediately piercing you through the back. You take 6 points of bludgeoning damage and 5 points of slashing damage as the rung pierces through your leather armor and into your rib and kidney area. You feel the very air just explode out of you. And then you fall to the floor from the force of the wind. So you're also prone on top of that. Kovash, you take 3 bludgeoning damage just from the general whirlwind buffeting you about, but you were able to save. We're going to go ahead and roll initiative, because this is a turn-based thing now.
Thanks.
The
Kovac.
trap.
Oh,
I was
boy.
gonna say, do you want to get out of here? Or do you want to play games with the fucking temple again?
Kovac and Sim on both 4.
Clarifying, I asked and warned everybody. Secondly, the way out of the temple is up.
Yeah, that's why the trap is there. People are so desperate to get out.
That's also why Sip was like, maybe we should check the other end first before trying it.
All right, Dikuth, you just
Declare.
watch immediately as Kovash gets to the floor, and Bjorn flies around the room before being smashed into the wall and dragged to the floor himself. And you just see this whirlwind just forming and emerging in this hallway. What are you gonna do?
Does the whirlwind show any signs of lessening after the initial impact?
It does not.
Okay. Dikuth is actually going to. Let me see what I got here in my inventory. Sorry. Dikuth is going to grab the end of his shield and he's gonna hold it out and try to give Kovash something to grab onto so he can pull him out of the room.
Alrighty, so I'll say that if Kovash wants to go that way, he can have advantage on his athletics pull to get out or saving throw because he starts his turn
Alright.
in there. Alright.
Alright, and that'll be it.
Alright. Bjolf, you need to make another saving throw, please. Strength saving throw, please.
Oh, cool.
Well, it's not so bad.
It have to be a strength save. It can't be an athletics check.
No, as you are about to pull yourself back up off the ground, and it just basically shoves you straight back in with your face straight into the ground. You take 1 point of bludgeoning damage.
Good.
And you are prone, but it is your turn now.
Oh, fabulous. After all that, I just can't wait to go. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on myself. Let's do a second level, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Where? Level 2. Yeah. Is that it? Okay. All right.
There you
And I'm assuming I can't crawl away because I failed the strength save.
go. You could crawl.
Stand up.
Are you
Yeah, I would
crawling?
Yeah, I would like to make my way back towards this.
Alright, as you begin crawling along, you feel that the whirlwind is not really affecting you on the ground.
Okay, perfect. That's why I didn't.
Sure.
I get all
Katra.
the
What's that? I'm sorry.
get all the way up into the hallway again.
You could not really because you'd end movement on Jelenoth and you can't do that yet. If you had an action, you could because you could dash, but you healed yourself.
Cool.
Katra, what are you doing? Ooh.
I am taking the dodge action, I guess.
Okay.
And that's my turn.
Jelenoth.
I'm going to reach out my hand and pull Beof into the hallway with me,
Sure.
or back into this hallway.
Already in the hallway.
Are you willing to accept this?
Yes, I
Alright.
will accept this
So, yeah.
begrudging.
Begrudgingly, you drag your heels as Jelenoth drags you back.
No.
All right. Jonathan, anything else on your turn?
Um,
As you
that
watch your
that
allies get flung around a room.
and I just go. Guess we found the trap.
Alrighty. Sif, you have Katra basically in your arms at this point.
Yep. Sif is going to take the dodging Katra by the waist and kind of literally just like spin around in the hallway and just be like, and is going to at the same time is then also going to grab is going to like reach across Dikuth and grab onto the shield and then look back to Katra and be like, all right, and push him back as if Kovash comes to do that. So basically helping get Kovash to this side so we can best determine for a second.
Alright. Anything else?
So I'm now here.
Just about to be, yeah. Holding my action to help Dikuth pull Kovash back.
Okay. Kovash.
That is my turn, yes.
Am I prone?
You are prone.
Can I stand up and dash up the ladder and through the door?
Go ahead and give me an athletics check. Sure, go ahead and give me an athletics check. Alright. You actually don't stand up. You just grab onto the rungs and immediately start pulling yourself up. And you get to the top and you notice that it's a false trapdoor.
Cool. Then I won't dash. Or I'll still dash, but I'll just let go and try and move into the hall.
Alright. Yeah, I'll allow that. You only have half
Oh, like,
movement, but yeah. Dikuth.
But I.
Oh, Dikuth, you watch as your shield is held out and Kovash completely ignores it. What would you like to do?
I will. Actually, I will use my action or a free object interaction to pull a rope out of my pack.
Sure.
And then I will tie it around myself and hand one end to Sif.
Okay.
And I will get on the floor. And
Sif,
begin
grab
shimmying.
hold.
Are you gonna walk your dinosaur?
I am going to shimmy on the ground. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy.
Alright. You only have half movement, remember, when you're crawling?
Yep.
But you seem to be unaffected by this while you're crawling through.
And that'll be the end of it.
Alrighty. Bjolf.
I just get low up here and then pull Dikuth the rest of the way.
Dikuth, do you accept being pulled?
I consent.
Alright, yeah, you guys can move back one square then. So you're almost completely out of the room. You still, you're on the ground, so you're not really worried about it. But yeah, keep that in mind that if you do stand up, you're still affected by difficult terrain at the moment. Katra.
I am going to. I
Can't fly through this whirlwind.
I thought about it. I guess I am going to take a run and try to tumble through.
Sif will do a standing jump so he can clearly get out from under him. Since I can standing jump 8 feet in the air.
He can get past you regardless.
I know.
5, 10, 15.
There wouldn't be space for me to stay there. I could. I wouldn't be able to dash, would I?
You can get to here, but no, you would not have anywhere to dash to.
So I think how this would go is Katra would run up here and be like, "Oh, psych, bad day," and then turn around and just stand there and be like,
Alrighty. Jonathan.
I am going to move down the hall to provide space for people to come towards me.
Alrighty. You see that the
In fact, I'm
hall
gonna turn around
continues
the corner,
down.
and that's it.
Alrighty. Sif.
I'm gonna kind of get to that point, and I'm gonna reach out with my I kind of want to reach out with the heavy armor and see if I can kind of feel the wind trying to take at me.
Not from your position, no.
Okay. I'm gonna get past Kovash, and as I get to Kovash, I'm going to do like the drops to a knee, then straight down to onto his chest, and is going to to the feet of Dick, pretty much.
Well, you can get to here.
I will dash for that extra 10 feet.
You can't. Or you can go there, yeah. Anything else?
I'm guessing my torch probably went out.
Wait. Yeah, it did.
I'm just gonna kind of hold my my faded torch out, and I'm just gonna be like, somebody, please, can't see.
Alrighty. Kovash. Give me a strength saving throw, please. As you are standing up. You're fine, but you do take 5 points of bludgeoning damage. As the wind is now starting to actually like affect you and your stance and how you're standing. It's just the gust mile per hour is just beginning to rapidly ascend.
Kovash is going to grab the rope left by Dikuth and pull it taut so that there's no like give.
He gave it to Sif.
Was Sif holding it?
I believe so.
Never mind then. Then Kovash will gesture for Katra to move in front of him and then I guess hold his action to move effectively. Kovash wants to make sure Katra doesn't just get blown backwards.
Okay. Dikuth, you're on the ground being kind of roughly dragged out of this maelstrom by Bjolf. What would you like to do?
I'm going to expend half movement to get up,
Sure.
and then I am going to shimmy past Bjolf
Sure.
for the rest of my movement, and I am going to pull Sif into the hallway.
All right. Give me a strength check, please.
Base strength or athletics?
You give me an athletics check.
That's an 11.
All right. I'll give you 10 feet. What is the drag rules, actually? I should look that up.
He's exhausted, Don.
My bad. Give me 2 seconds. I always forget these based on. Yeah, that's fine. Sif being heavily armored and quite heavy himself, you begin to drag him, and he does move this way, but it's kind of hard to drag him past Bjolf at the moment. So you do move him across. You all hear this loud as metal starts grating across the ground as Sif is being dragged. Bjolf.
I look and I see that holding one end of the rope, holding the other. I'm just like, and then I yell across, "You can get across fine if you crawl on the ground."
Can
And I'm gonna like, is it possible for me to like get on Sif and then kick him behind me so I'm standing here? or is that too much?
I think that the only thing you could really do is maybe grab the rope and pull him back further, and you step back further.
Okay, I will do that.
All right.
Yes.
So yeah, you with Dickus' help now, and both of you tugging, and you do pull him back another foot and or another 5 feet, and you have made room on the other side of the hallway as well. All right. Anything else on your turn?
Oh, that should be it.
Alrighty, Katra.
My torch.
I hold on. So Katra will like drop down onto his belly and like military crawl, I guess, under like Kovac and try to crawl across the span.
Sure, easily enough. Kovac is kind of taking a wide stance, and he has his dress on or his
I
skirt
take
on.
my ready movement then.
Yeah.
I definitely don't look up as I crawl under.
Are you crawling as well then, Kovac?
If he starts doing it and has no trouble, I'll do that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm keeping an eye to try and grab him if like.
Well, yeah, you hear Bjolf yell that, and then you watch Katra pretty much. His robes and hair begins flapping wildly, but he's able to just army crawl basically across, keeping his head as low as possible. Jelena, you do see Dikuth is finally like kind of caught up to you, out of the corner of your eye, as well as looking further down. You see that the tunnel does somewhat curve off at the end.
I will wait here for everyone else to catch up or to get out of that room.
All right.
So I hear a fantastic commotion of metal screeching ground along the ground. It's great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. All right, Sif, you've now been dragged across the ground and are on the floor staring up at Bjolf and Dikuth.
I will use 5 feet of movement thanks to athlete and stand up without a breeze, kind of like wipe the dust off of me, and then I'm just gonna kind of reach down and grab hold of the rope and such, and kind of make sure that Katra and Kovac are able to get past. But otherwise, I will wait here and retake my position as back of the line. After lighting a torch.
Kovac, what would you like to do?
I guess hold my movement until there's room to actually move forward.
That's what I figured. Dikuth, what would you like to do? Well, I'm going to assume real quick that none of you are just going to suddenly stand up in that hallway, and we can drop turn order.
Yeah, Dikuth is first thing Dikuth's gonna do is he's gonna kind of move past Jelena so he can clear room in the hallway.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. You guys can move up and begin moving your characters forward and filing in as you've figured out the trap and how to get past it.
That was fun.
Yeah, the dust that has been whipped up is still now like clinging to the air and kind of making you cough and wheeze a little bit, but it begins settling down after a few minutes.
Seems like it was worth the check anyways.
What have we learned about going through openings in the ceiling? Not
It could have been much worse.
Yeah,
It could have been better.
go for it.
No, this is definitely the second time we've just gone through the ceiling and things have just gone bad.
When else did we go through the ceiling?
Are you forgetting the demon that
big
came
blue
out
guy?
of the ceiling?
Yeah, the skin gorger. Is that what I like to call him? All right, everybody's okay?
Don't remember that.
You okay? You took a pretty bad.
He looks down and like, it's just seeping out of his shirt. And he's just like,
It's like I bleed every day.
you know what? I'm fine.
Cool. All right, so back to sneaking out of this place.
Before we get moving, Dikuth is actually going to he's going to set up he's gonna touch himself in the jaw where he got kicked in the face by the horse, and he is going to cast a level 2 cure wounds.
Heard. You all begin to hear Dikuth quietly humming to himself as slight magical energy begins to glow around him. Nice roll. Damn.
That was
Oof.
good.
Good heal.
Dikuth, as you finish your spell, before you see somewhat of a foyer open up, 10 feet wide. It's kind of hard to see from your angle. You'd have to move closer, but at this point, you do see an opening, and it does widen up.
All right. Dikuth is going to continue forward, but he's going to start. He's going to take out Shatterspike and like kind of start trying to tap the floor as he goes along.
Alrighty.
Investigating for traps, I would say.
Sure. Give me an investigation check.
Zero.
Righteous. Looks pretty good to you, man. Pretty dusty in here.
All right, guys, this way's safe.
As you approach, you see that the narrow this is a foyer 10 feet wide and 20 feet long. A narrow hallway connects with this area on the south side, which is where you are. And then on the northern side, you can kind of see out of the corner of your eye another entrance to another tunnel. A wheel is set horizontally. I'm sorry. Now I'm so backwards with their stupid compass. Yeah. Not a wheel. You see that first you see a bronze lever is set in the wall angled downwards right here. A wheel is set horizontally half into the wall above this bronze lever, or below this bronze lever. It appears to be some sort of crank.
That looks fun. Hey guys, come take a look at this. It's a thing.
Where was the wheel again, you said?
So this it's literally it's like right below this lever right here.
Okay, so the lever's on top of the wheel.
Imagine like a gear partially into the ground, and you can only see like part of it, and it looks like you can like grab onto it and move it in some sort of direction. And you do see that there is another hallway over on the other end of this, or another tunnel over on the other end of this hallway.
Is that just an open door, or is there like is it blocked by anything?
You do see that on the ground there are 3 like circular openings that have slight indents in it, but it is an open like doorway that does seem to continue around the corner as well.
I don't trust this. Those look like prison bars that can come up, or spikes, or something. Hmm.
I'm overall not a fan of the lever.
Yeah.
Just in general.
Yep. Same. But I'm also not a fan of this 3-pronged thing in the ground. Just for safety measures. Wait, why is the torch moving on its own?
Because my token disappeared.
Cause it's haunted.
Wait, what? How did your token disappear? Why does it
Why
keep
does
doing
the
that?
token always disappear?
Yeah, he just, he wants to go off exploring on his own. He leaves his light behind to guide you.
Bjolf taking journeys through the spirit
Oh,
world.
hey. Okay.
Bjolf, as you get over there, you notice that there's a stairway on the other side of this tunnel.
Mhm. I just like stick an arm out over the three pronged things, see what happens.
You wave your arm around.
Right.
You move some dust around that's been lingering, but other than that, nothing seems to happen.
Right, cool.
You step over and nothing seems to happen either.
Poke my head out. I think just don't pull the lever.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I feel like the lever has to do something.
Maybe, but maybe we just don't need to pull it right now. I will follow Beof,
Alright.
or would you rather I lead?
Would you rather lead? Would that make you more comfortable?
I mean, it doesn't matter too much who's in lead.
Okay,
As
then.
long as you're
Someone take
looking
the
out
lead
for
before the
traps.
gas starts heading this
Going.
way.
Do I notice any trap like?
Do you notice any trap
Traps.
like?
Do I notice any traps?
Go ahead and give me an investigation check,
Okay.
please.
Trap
Sorry.
places.
I was like waiting, and I was like,
That would be a no for sure.
It's a very dusty stairway that continues up out of your vision. You don't see any of the rollers like you did the last time you were on stairs.
Must be safe. Right, onward.
At the top of the stairs, you see a blank wall.
Ah,
Whoa, wait.
that's.
I'm like, did you just
Blank-
walk to the wall?
Oh, sorry. Is there just a blank wall? There's nothing there.
Yeah, it's just a blank wall.
Touch
Dikuth
it.
whispers to himself, "The lever."
It's a wall.
Take some blood from my side. I touch it.
It's a wall. Nothing seems to happen.
Well, I've exhausted all of my options. I look back at Jill and maybe have someone pull the lever, see what happens.
I mean, if your blood didn't work, then we probably actually need to do something then.
That's what
Alright.
I said. Get someone to pull the lever.
We'll go back down the stairs.
I'm not going to be crunk.
Shoves past. Okay. I thought you were just standing there.
Hey, Dikuth, I think we need to pull the lever.
And
Before we
Dikuth
pull the lever, I'm moving around into the staircase.
Dikuth excitedly runs back, and I honestly forget I still have a rope tied to me.
Here we go.
As
Just
this
a
giant
little
rope just
fucking
moves
tail,
all around
yeah.
the room. It's a full 60-foot rope too, right?
Yeah.
No, I think it. Yeah, it might have been.
So there's a 60 feet of rope trailing around through this room.
Sniff holds onto the rope and says, just in case.
Alright, what are you doing there, Dikuth?
Pull the lever, crunk.
Shush.
Be right in.
All right, Kovash, do you want to stand there when I pull the lever,
Be here in case anything big and scary jumps out to
or
attack.
do you want to pull the lever, Kovash?
I can pull the lever if you'd like.
Do it.
But would you be happy to pull the lever?
Do it.
Ash reaches around and pulls the lever from the square he's in.
It's not really. You kind of have to like push it up. It's actually in the downward angle right now, so
Push it up.
Nothing
There's a mysterious
happens.
ticking noise.
None of you notice any changes as you hear a loud.
Let me look at that wall.
Did anybody see anything different?
Yeah, did anything happen to the wall?
You can give me a perception check.
Sure, I would love to give you. Aha!
The
There we go.
wall hasn't changed. It hasn't moved. It didn't even tremble when the lever was touched.
I touched the wall again.
It's a wall.
Dikuth pulls the lever again.
Hey, what's up there?
It's a wall.
Just a wall?
Maybe.
Is it like a secret doorway?
Kovash looks up at the ceiling.
All right. Give me an investigation check. You look up. It seems like the hallway is kind of reshaped after that whirlwind tunnel, and just basically is fit to the stairway. The wall just continues up to the ceiling, and from your view, has no.
Is there like
Nothing to it.
is there like an archway around the wall or like
Look out a second.
Dikuth pulls the lever a third time.
Dickhead,
Huh?
I love you, my good sir, but this place is old. Just in case we need that, we don't want you to snap the bar.
Good point.
Kovash looks at the wheel.
What do you would like to look at the wheel? Yeah, it
Seem like it can be turned or moved or.
it like has little handholds in it, and it disappears into the ground.
oh, it's like the
Yeah,
Wheel of
I
Fortune
want
wheel?
to try and turn that.
All right. Give me a strength check, please.
Hey, strength or athletics?
Athletics, if you like. Easily enough, you all watch as Kovash, or those of you in the room begin watching Kovash. And it's a slow process. It's a large stone that you're turning inside this wall. Yeah. And you watch, or not you, but Bjolf, you watch as part of the wall literally just starts descending very slowly as it just dust begins to crack in and filter through. However, Kovash, you watch as where you're standing, the floor begins to slide open in tune with you turning the wheel, revealing a large pit below you.
Can I stop turning and push the lever?
You can. As soon as you do, you watch as it, and everything seems to lock in place.
Jelenoff just yells out, "Keep going! It's working!"
Sif calls right back out. Momentary time. Just one moment. He's gonna look over and he's gonna grab his rope and offer some to Kovash and say, tie yourself, let's figure this out. I'll keep hold.
Kovash pulls the rope tight so that he has very short way that he can fall as he ties it around himself. Like he doesn't leave slack in the rope. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then goes back to
Dikuth,
the
give me
wheel.
a perception check, real quick. You do notice that as soon as Kovash had snapped the lever back into place, the the indents in the floor behind you began raising.
Are they bars or?
They are thick metal spikes that are rising out of the floor.
Like way down in the pit?
No, like up here.
Oh, fuck.
They're barring the door. So guys, the more you do that, the more it locks the bars. There's bars
You
here.
still get around right now.
Yeah, you could probably step over them at the moment.
Is there enough space for me to like crawl up through the top of the door, or is it still?
Not even close.
Dikuth, does your blade happen to work on the bars like they did earlier?
I mean, I don't see why that would have changed.
It's worth
But
a
it's
shot
magic.
before we.
You do notice that these are large circular metal bars compared to the last ones.
Sif doesn't quite see
These
that.
bars
actually.
are pretty thick, though.
Oh, I can't see that from here.
What are you guys gonna do?
Am I tied tight?
Yes, you are.
I flip the leather back and go back to turning the wheel. And when the pit drops, I want to try and position my legs on the sides of the wall
All right. Easily
so
enough.
that I still have leverage.
Easily enough, as you actually notice that when you're turning the wheel, the pit leaves about a 1 foot wide length ledge along the side of the wall that you're on to keep turning. However, as it keeps turning, the rest of you in the room see that this is the large pit falls, and at the bottom in the torchlight, you see that there is a pale shimmer of bones, and that there is a 6-inch wide footbridge of polished marble spanning from where Kovash is standing, like near Kovash in the center of the pit, to the other side where Dikuth is standing. And those of you on at the top of the stairs notice that the doorway almost fully gets out, fully falls down, and I will have to map change as you begin seeing light, bright light filtering in. So much so that it begins blinding you from the natural light that begins falling into this tunnel. Are you completing the process, Kovash?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get...
Me and Sif will figure this out after the door is open.
Oh, okay. So you get all it takes you a good 5 minutes of just churning on this stone before the pit is now completely open, and you see large piles of bones at the bottom of it. And you slam the lever home, and you notice that as soon as you do, the portcullis whoosh, shoots straight up and hits the ceiling and blocks your entryway as soon as you lock it into place. Those of you on the stairs...
Oh, I was doing that. I was going to hold the wheel for now.
Okay, you're going to hold the wheel? Got it.
Yeah, rather than locking it.
All right. So then, yeah, you see that it's open, and then the hallway is not barred yet. And those of you upstairs see that the doorway opens, and you breathe in actual fresh outside air as you look out onto the island of Maztica.
Kovash, listen.
Hey guys, the door's open. Come on up.
Maybe you should.
Can
Sif
you go?
starts to say something, then just starts to ignore Jelena for a second. Looks to Kovash and says, and reaches out and grabs hold of the wheel and says, "You go. See if you can hold that portcullis open. You're the stronger of us."
Olash tries to, I guess, swing himself to the footbridge.
It's not. It's literally so if your character is right here, you literally just step over right here. It's literally right next to you, and it spans across.
Then he's going to go.
It is difficult terrain, and I need an acrobatics check as you start crossing over it.
Oof. Okay, Dikuth, go.
Sif grabs hold of the holds tight with the rope as he starts to be acrobatic.
Are you holding on to him, or are you holding on to the stone?
I'm holding onto the rope that's wrapped around Kovash.
So you all watch as the pit begins to close and the door begins to close.
And put one hand back on the wheel and
you gotta choose one, brother.
Yep, I'll throw the rope across over to Dick and say my bad.
All right.
And reopen what he accidentally let close. Sorry.
Yeah, it takes another 2 minutes as you all, those of you at the top of the stairs, watch it open, and then it just. It's just literally opening and closing.
What's happening?
Maybe come check.
Kovash,
Jelen-
you get stuck.
Sif yelled at Jelen.
You get stuck halfway as you're crossing, and the ancient little marble footpath falters under your heavy weight, and you're stuck about 5 feet across. And that'll be it for you for right now, as you almost fall. As you look down now and see that it's a 30-foot long drop. What are the rest of you doing?
Can Dikuth safely make it into the room, or the bar is blocking at this point?
The bars are not even up.
Okay, Dikuth is going to cross into the room, and he's going to reach around, and he's going to shorten up the rope a little bit that he's got around him, and he's going to throw it to Kovash.
All right. So Kovash, you get hit in the face by a rope.
Grabs it.
All right. What are the rest of you doing up at the top of the stairs?
But one of the points is, can I just jump through?
You just go through the portal, or not the portal, but the doorway.
Portal.
Well,
Oh
the
no!
Doorway is a portal, but yes, you just go through. All right. Yeah, you step out onto the suddenly extremely hot Maztecan temperature as you're immediately hit in the face by thick humidity, thick sunlight, which you're kind of used to, but not fully. And it's just an oppressive heat wave. As you look around and you see you're in the courtyard of some ancient temple. It's still Maztecan, it just appears to be crumbled, and this is maybe the top or the actual temple of what you're exploring. And we'll just go ahead and move you off the map.
How fast did she leap out?
I
As
don't-
in, like, she leapt out, and then now the door is starting to come back up, and now it can't.
Oh no, I think you waited until they had fully opened it again, right, Bjolf?
I waited until it was open. I just
Okay.
think.
So yeah, you just watch Bjolf like run through really quick. You do you take off Bjolf? Otherwise you see Bjolf like immediately starts breaking into sweat. Go
Do
ahead.
wait by.
Okay. So yeah, you see him kind of like trying to find shade probably, but
I guess I follow.
all right, yeah. John, if you run out and you are hit by the same amount of heat and fresh air and ocean humidity, Katra? All right, Katra leaps out. Y'all are just on the other side of this entrance as you see it like shaking slightly as it's been up and down now.
Katra will walk out with his like arms to his side, like, sunlight.
Kovash, we're back to you. You now have a rope in your hand. You can attempt to just leap across at this point.
Say he's kind of gonna like grab the rope and swing into the wall, and then climb up.
The only other problem was that earlier it was like super small. So now that you have the rope, you kind of just pull yourself across and leap at the same time. That's easy enough for you to do. You make it across the 10-foot pit.
Look out. Sif's gonna lock it, and then I'm gonna try and see if I can't bend the bars open.
The bars are in the ground.
Yeah, but for Sif to get over, he's gonna have to lock it in place.
Right. I mean, you can't bend them yet, so he has to lock it.
I'm aware, but I have to be able to get behind the bars.
Sure. Sif, are you going to lock it then in place?
I'm waiting until Kovash is in the position, he thinks he might be able to try to hold it, and then I will lock it. Once he gives me the go.
I don't know how I can hold it. Once they're up, I can try and bend them.
How tall? Well, Sif can't really see over there from here. How tall is the door? He calls out to Kovash.
Wait a minute. Dikuth, can I see your shield?
I mean, this was a really expensive shield from Gregor the blacksmith. What
Sif throws his shield to Kovash.
I
That works.
to catch Sif's shield, I guess.
Okay.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever tried to do as Kovash, but I don't know of another way to try and stop them from rising.
You could also try and use your sword if you want to use a magic.
Kovash is going to set the shield down and stand on top of it.
Oh my god.
Okay.
And he's going to go into a rage and try to ready to catch on the ceiling and try to hold it down by pressing against the shield.
Okay.
And I will
Give me
crawl
2
in between the
seconds.
legs. Please, you know what's coming. Oh man, I don't like that smile on DM or the look on DM.
You have a better idea, Dikuth? I don't feel comfortable about this, but I don't know what else to do.
I mean, maybe we could jam the wheel without actually using the lever.
Sif, is there a way you can jam the wheel instead of locking it?
Sif looks down towards the wheel. How big is this stone wheel actually, if I may?
Kova, are you locking it yet, or has this happened? Okay. The stone wheel is very large. It's about
Like the God of War
6
size?
feet from ground to the height that you see, and it goes into the floor, about 3/4 of it being below and out of sight. I assume not. I assume Sif is still holding the door open, which at this point, Sif, it is beginning to get tiresome from holding a large stone door, and you're literally holding it down like this.
Sif, just give me like a.
Push the sword, push the shield back in, and get out of the bars.
What do you mean push it back in? Push it into the pit?
No, just slide it in front of you and step out of the way of the bars.
Okay. I do so.
And Sif locks the lever.
So
What's
yeah,
going on
you
down
watch
here?
as the bars suddenly shoot up.
I moved off of him like he said.
I know. You watch as instead of like sliding off or any other direction, you watch as they pierce through the shield into the ceiling, creating 3 large holes now in your shield.
I thought you kicked it out of the way.
I definitely said I did.
Oh, I thought you said you were kicking it on top. What? Okay, so
I'm
then
already on top of it.
yeah, then I guess it goes into the ceiling like normal, and you're now trapped on the other side.
Sif will get over
I
towards the bar.
misunderstood.
Oh no, you're good. Sif will get over to the bars, and he's gonna look over at Kovash on the other side, look around, and is gonna look at him without taking and take off his helmet actually, and he's gonna look at him and say, "Go up there and see if there's any other way that you can possibly get this thing open. If not, I'll find a way."
DM, there's no like switches or levers up here, is there?
You can give me an investigation check.
Jalynef has gone back at this point. Come down the stairs, see Dikuth and Sif there. I'm like, hey, what's going on? The door's open.
Can I investigate the wall around the bars? Is there anything of note?
I was gonna do that on my side too.
You both can give me separate investigation checks.
Well, in order to open that door, Jonas, we had to lock Sif in there. So we're
I
trying to
locked
get Sif
myself in here. Sif calls out.
Easily enough, you search and you find, Sif, that there is a like stonework piece that moves out of the way, and there is a keyhole behind it.
Sif runs his fingers over this and looks to Kovash and says, "I have something to search for." And he's actually gonna sit down again in the corner for a second and say, unless you all have an idea, or perhaps I'm going to take a moment to breathe and see
I
if I
might
can't find.
have an idea.
What are you
Kovash,
looking
switch
for?
places with me.
Well, Kovash, let Jelenith to the bar so she can see.
Where did this bar come from?
And Sif says,
What happened?
that's why I told you to come down and check for yourself. As we opened the door up there, these bars, well, barred the way, as long as that lever was pulled down. And he's going to point towards where he thinks he found the stonework for the where the keyhole is. Appears to be a keyhole there. Maybe I have a way to open it from this side.
Doesn't
With
make sense though.
what?
That doesn't make sense. You guys said that wheel opened the doorway up top. So if people are coming in from the top, there has to be a way to lower the bar from this side. Otherwise, you couldn't get to the wheel and lever to undo it and close the door.
Unless this was intended to never be opened. Unless this was
No.
intended to keep the outside from coming in.
I mean, it is, but it's a temple. The priests still have to come and go.
I don't know about you, Kovash, but I haven't seen any priests since we got here.
When it was made, Sif, this temple wasn't made for right now. It was made as a temple. Priests had to come and go, and they can't. The way this is set up, there was no way for them to ever get in because the bars block them from getting in while the door in is open.
And you said you were dumb before, didn't you? Sif just kind of gives a smile.
Jelenith, I can do something. I don't know if it probably won't work, but it's the only real option I think we have.
Okay, Kovash, I just said what was one of our momentary real options.
Not talking about standing on top of them.
No, you completely ignore half of what I say sometimes. There's a keyhole, and there is possibly a key that can get me out in the meantime.
Do you mean this key? And I pull out the key from when we were way back in that diorama room when we first
Sif
fell.
jumps up and reaches forward and says, "Let me see that."
Will this fit?
Sif will attempt the key.
It is not the correct shape and is not the correct size.
Okay.
Sif will just kind of start to move it in and stop as he sees that, and then offer it back to Jelenith.
Before you guys go any further,
Yes,
Beowulf, you watch as Katra begins looking around, searching through things. He begins heading towards this large stone temple work. Give me a Katra. Give me a D12 roll.
Ooh.
Katra, as you're walking and searching around, you suddenly feel the floor fall out beneath you as you go careening 20 feet to the ground and actually land right next to Sif.
Can I try and catch him?
You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage as you fall to the ground. You noticed that as you fell, you kind of bounced off this tunnel work that kind of slightly curved as it fell down, and then shot you out in another curve, and you just you're bashed and bruised, and you don't feel good.
What was that, Jelenith?
Hey,
What the
Kovash.
fuck just happened?
Sif
I
calls
look-
out. Kovash, all you had to do was go jumping upstairs, man. Stop trying to use your head.
If I look up, what do I see?
A lot of dust work and stone work, kind of falling and just floating to the ground. You do see a hole.
Ketra,
You
where
do
the
see a
fuck did you
hole in
come
the
from?
ground now, or the ceiling.
Like, is there a hole where he came through?
Sif grabs onto
there's a
Katra.
hole in the ground too. You see as well.
I just like poke my head over the top.
It kind of curves out of view, but it does look like a slide straight down, pretty much.
Can I just? Is there something I could tie a rope to?
Sif picks Katra off and just starts dusting him off, like full on, like robes and everything.
Who put a hole in the ground?
Hey Katra, didn't you say you could do things? And Sif gives him that you know what I want to do.
Katra also like won't stand on his own feet. Like when you set him down, he just kind of like jellies back down.
Sif will keep him in his arms and be like, oh whatever.
Ketra, where the fuck did you come from?
And Sif looks up.
And he just
From
like
the heavens.
points straight up.
Oh, Catra's in there? Dikuth peeks his head around the corner. Hey, Catra.
Doesn't
Yeah, he also he brought
people
this.
fly?
Oh, I'm sorry. My back was too loud from the pain I'm in. What'd you say?
He brought the ceiling down with him. I don't.
Cool. I would like to tie it to something and then drop a rope down the hole.
All right. As you're all saying, I wonder where he came from. Ah, man, he just came out of the ceiling. You all watch as this rope literally lands on Katra's face. Just.
I assumed there was like a dagger tied to it or something.
No.
No. It's just a rope. Just.
There's also some like stonework tunnels up there, I think. I definitely bounced off of something.
Okay. Would you guys be able to climb this and get back out from where you came from?
Sif just kind of shakes his head, looks at Katra, and says, "Make us fly."
Because we were definitely
I can only
outside,
make
right?
One of us fly.
I can carry you. You can't carry me, or will you carry me? And he will grab.
Catra will like touch himself and cast fly, I guess.
Sif will hold on to ankles. He starts to go up.
You're still holding on to my upper body.
Say when you start going up, because I'm like holding you like like bridal style. So I just imagine when you start flying, you
It's
just.
not the most comfortable, as you notice that as soon as you get into this slide, it is very, like, you literally got beat around for a reason. It's very close quarters, and you actually probably can't fly very much further than the entrance with Sif attached to you.
Are there holes in this like tunnel for me to like kind of grab onto?
There's a
You
rope.
mean like the giant rope hanging in front of your face?
Oh, hey, I didn't hear the rope. Yeah, I'll take the rope.
I think we're good here, guys.
Oh, I missed the rope.
They're gonna go up through wherever Ketra came down from. I'm tired of this place. Let's
Flying
just
back
up the stairs.
through the channel. What, is there what's like what for like what does it look like? Like is there like? I don't
It
know.
looks like the tunnel you crawled in to get up here.
Ah.
Oh. Is there another like entrance or exit or opening into the tunnel?
I could try and go to the next map, but y'all keep flailing about here, so can I go there now? Are you guys all good with this weird entrance?
Yes.
Take us away,
Alright.
Kyle.
Dope. Let's go. Oh my goodness, y'all are just making me have anxiety over here.
I should have tried using the jade cat statue I have.
Prepare your computers.
Hey, at least we're on computers now.
I got a food delivery. DM, can I get some help?
Yeah.
Give him a second. He's still moving things around.
I mean, of course, I would like the help when you're available. You can like drop what you're doing and do it now.
I haven't been able to see so much in so long. This is great.
Oh my god. Can I save my torch?
Can y'all calm down?
Ooh, hello.
it's only been an hour and a half, but that is also a
Yes.
decent place to pray.
Let him do his thing, damn it.
There we go. Daniel, I will murder you. All right. Yes,
Sorry.
you're good. These are your positions as you are pulled up, and it was funny the first time. As you all are pulled into position and climb out of the hellhole that you've been stuck in for now almost 2 days. You're not really sure what time it is, but it is very bright out and very hot. And as you step out onto these stonework surfaces that seem to shift slightly beneath your feet from unsteady stonework, that's where we'll take a break for now. And we'll meet back in about 15 minutes, if that's cool with everybody.
Yep, I'm going outside for a smoke.
Alrighty. Excellent. Thank you for everybody who's joined us so far. As these buffoons have tried to figure their way out from 10 to 20 feet away. They got there, though. Awesome. We'll be back in a little bit. So, love you all very much. Thank you for joining us, and hope to see you on our way back. back to New Platinum Content's Dikuth's Band of Merry Men. Last we left off, the group had finally found their way out of the temple. Through some pitfalls and some tricky maneuvering and the odd trap, they were able to figure their way out, fortunately, through the accidental trapdoor, and was able to come back onto the surface. As they did, they all noticed that this was apparently a large temple of some sort. Once a major building, all that remains are the back wall and enough of the roof to shelter the altar. You notice that where you're standing, there's a large hole in the roof that is allowing this large ray of sunshine to just directly blast you in the face. Um, all else seems closed off by fallen debris. Several pillars have fallen and they litter the floor. Sunlight filters through these holes in the roof, which is 35 feet overhead, which is a maze of chips and cracks. The back wall is covered by a bas relief of a giant bat thing, 9 feet tall, with a wingspan of 20 feet. That's what's standing in front of you, Jelena. In front of this wall is an altar stone carved to represent a mass of squirming rats, weasels, and worms. On the front of the altar is the head of a screaming bat. Jutting above the altar on either side are pear-shaped metal bat wings 8 feet long. The floor in front of this altar is worn smooth. So I apologize. If you look closely actually at the back, there's also the same sort of bat sculpture on the back wall. And in front of that is this altar stone. On that altar stone is where it's carved to represent a mass of squirming rats, weasels, and worms. And then on top of that is this large pair of sharp-edged metal bat wings. And here you go.
Handout?
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Oh,
Boom.
Does it look like writhing worms? Is the altar's made out of?
Yes. A mass of squirming rats, weasels, and worms.
That Sif just kind of starts to say and just kind of trails off.
This weather is gross. I'd almost prefer the poisonous tunnels.
This is, as someone who's usually stuck inside with their nose in books, this is great.
Sif will walk out towards the front of the temple and look out at the steps.
Also, is anyone good with history and geography? Does anyone know what type of people built this temple? Are they like extinct or
Again, Katra, you are the scholar here.
am I the best at history?
Okay, I'm gonna do my thing. I'm gonna look for Mustican writing.
Alrighty. Give me an investigation check, please.
Well, DM,
Yes.
it does seem that I, in fact, am good at history. Would I know anything about Mastika?
You can give
Or
me a
the
history check.
JK, LOL.
Sif is also trained in history. Is there a chance that I can possibly, maybe,
Sure.
heard?
First of all, Jeleneth, as you're searching around, there isn't any outward writing of any kind that you find immediately. Most of anything that you do see is literally just deep color patterns and then this interesting bat motif over on this altar. Steven, your area of expertise did not necessarily cover mysterious lands that people never return from, but it's something that you're now interested in and probably will study it further.
No one ever returned from them.
Yet. Um, and so, Sif, you begin thinking, um, the little that you could possibly come up with, there's not much known on this island about this island or people to begin with. But you do know that there are several cultures around the world that all have their own belief systems and gods. And this is probably some temple to a god of Maztecan culture.
Sif, while he's kind of looking around, he's gonna kind of like trail a hand on the wall before he picks up one of the pieces of rubbled stone, and he's gonna kind of turn and look towards Katra and all them before crushing the stone in his hand, and say, "I don't know much, but this
Yeah.
temple obviously was of something of importance, and the fact that it's in such disrepair could mean that either the people no longer care or they're no longer here."
So, because I'm really good with history, and I like never heard of this place. I've never heard of any like magical artifacts coming out of this place or anything. Um,
That's
we
because, as far as we've been told, no one comes back from here.
Right. So what I'm saying is, and why I picked up a whole bunch of jewelry of a kind of people who no one knows anything about, is that I'm pretty sure someone or somewhere who collects stuff about civilizations that nobody knows anything about, would be willing to pay for them, right?
I may know
You think
someone.
they pay for this? And Kovash goes in his bag and pulls out the large 9-pound jade cat statue.
Definitely.
Sif kind of looks forward out towards the jungle and then turns and says, "I may know of someone that may be interested in some of these artifacts."
But also, jade is very useful in magic and spellcraft.
So why did you destroy all that jade down? Never mind. Never mind.
Because if I have to choose between jade
No,
and
no,
my
hey.
life, I would choose my life all the time.
Yes, like I said, never mind. I was just. We've been stuck underneath there for 2 days, so sorry if I'm a little jumpy. But I mean, we might be able to sell it for a vaster price than we might find normally if we go to Neverwinter.
Well, DM, would I know if like museums are a thing?
Yes. And yes.
We could totally peddle them to like places that like collect culture. And he says that with like with a few drips of like ire in his voice.
Sif looks to Jelineth and kind of moves closer and says in kind of a lower tone, "We want to rest a little bit before we go back. We still need to find your tree."
Wait, we're going back?
Sif says this quietly to Jelineth.
Never mind.
Dikuth, you begin exploring, and you look around, and this altar seems like a large stone block. You're not really sure. Um, there does seem to be like an odd, like weird shelf on the front, but you're not really sure what that's for. Other than that, you can't really tell. It just looks like a large stone piece of um, gory artwork.
DM,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fly over here next to these walls or pillars, I suppose, are they? What do I see like anything beyond, or like what does it look like beyond these like steps?
Oh, it looks like a thick Maztecan jungle, like what you came out of. But as you look, um, I suppose it would be west if we're going by the same compass. So down this way, you do see the large, overgrown village that you passed through and fell somewhere inside of this temple.
Do I see any like any creatures or beings that might look threatening?
You could give me a perception check. Jonathan, if you want to give me an investigation check, you can. But otherwise, there's not really dust, as this is very much exposed to the elements. There doesn't seem to be any trackings of any kind or any writing, but you do notice that on the grass, on the near the front of the stairs, there is a large animal print, like old. It's probably been there a while, but it is like caked into the mud, like right here, or I'm sorry, like right over here.
So as Sif tries to come over and like talk to me, I'm like reading the ground, trying to do my tracking thing, see if anything's been around recently. Um, is this giant footprint I'm seeing? Does that resemble the original giant footprint I saw when we first got on an island?
No.
Okay, so this is a different set of footprints.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
I'm
dog-like. A large dog-like paw
Isn't
print.
that what we found originally?
I believe the original one was more of a cat paw print.
Yep.
Yes, you're right.
They're not hugely different, but there are differences that a trained hunter would notice.
Beowulf, do you know where we would have to go to get back to the ship from here?
I oh, while you're saying that, I'm gonna look back and just be like, while I still have this ability, I'm gonna fly up and see what I can see around where we are.
Elf doesn't answer you. He's just his eyes are just locked on this altar, and he kind of slowly reaches up and like puts his hands on the lip of it and just like runs it along the top. DM, does this look familiar to me in any way?
It it looks very familiar to you in a way that you've probably been like shunting out of your life for a long time. And something that began a relationship that carried you through the rest of your life. And as you touch your hand to it, you just hear push.
Do it without even thinking.
You begin pushing, and like you notice that this like face and wings are probably not a good position, and you watch Dikuth run his hands along this weird shelf, and you reach down and it's actually handholds, and you grab and you start lifting with all of your strength, and you feel something move, but you're not strong enough to do this by yourself.
I look over at Kovash. Just help me.
Why?
GM, I fly straight up, maybe like 100 feet.
Sure. As he says why, Bjolf, you hear the true test.
uh, there's something under here that all of us might want.
Come again?
I think there's something under here that all of us might want. Something's telling me to open this.
Kovash goes because you gave him a reason. So Kovash will help.
Sif's kind of crinks a neck and looks over at Beowulf and he hears they're telling me to open it.
I said something is telling me.
Thank you. Sorry.
You two can give me a strength check if you would like.
Can it be
Athletics?
athletics?
Specifically strength. This is a pure strength check.
Ooh. Okay, fine.
You both begin lifting at the same time, and the veins and muscles and sinew begins popping out of your skin as you feel the altar begin tipping back, like as if it's on a hinge. And Dikuth, from your position, you're able to actually see that this dusty hinge begins cracking into place as it begins to move. And then they both have to drop it with a sudden poof.
Come on, Bjork, put some back into it.
Come on, show that you're from the north.
Eyes just narrow, and he's like, "Don't you help? It'll make it easier."
Dikuth, don't help.
Hearing Sip say
Okay,
what
go.
he said about the North, Kovash actually growls and goes into his second rage of the day.
Oh God!
Oh shit! All right, you
Rage,
guys
not berserker. Calm down, y'all.
can give me both another round of strength checks.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
Just
Alright.
start laughing at whatever happened.
Kovash, you begin lifting, and you feel your side like easily begin lifting up. But you look over, and Bjolf is just. And it hasn't even lifted off the ground, and like a blood vessel pops in his eye.
Get someone over here who can fucking lift it.
Pip is trying to hold in laughter. Full-blown armored knight is starting to kill.
Look
I
out,
can't-
Bjork.
Can I cast guidance on myself and try again?
Alright. But if
Hold
you
on,
fail this time, then you'll have to get new people after this time.
Fine, that's fine.
I feel like if you strain any harder, Bjork, you're gonna crap your pants.
What?
Does that mean we both do a third one?
Sure. He's gonna roll.
I just yell out, lift with your knees, not with your back.
Alright. And finally, with the last growl and push, you all watch as everything but the wings push back. And it's curious for a second as you watch as the wings whoosh and slice forward. I need both of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I have advantage on this.
I roll.
Good advantage, guys.
Neither of us got the nat one.
You both take 15 points of slashing damage. Kovash, you're actually raging at this point. So you'll take 7, if my math is correct. And yeah, as these large blades, you start ducking out of the way immediately as they just take a large chunk of flesh out of your shoulder, Bjolf. And it just kind of scrapes along your back, Kovash, as you're able to get mostly out of the way. But you all watch as the altar falls poof, backwards. Beneath the altar is an 8-foot large, deep pit. You immediately see from the sunlight pouring in thousands and thousands pinpricks of light as it's reflecting off coins and more coins, as it seems this entire pit is filled with silver coins. Resting in and amongst the coins are 2 bodies cut in half. You see the old skeleton torsos thrown around as well as their lower halves. Most of the silver has been stained with blood. At the top, you see goblets, statuettes, chalices, jewelry, pearl, and a large reclining statue.
Guess you wanted treasure, right? And Kovash steps to the side as he drops his rage.
Treasure, you say?
Sif stares at the befallen statue or
Like,
altar.
Hey, where'd Katra go?
He's like 100 feet up in the air.
Down.
While that's happening, Katra, you soar about 100 feet into the air and you notice a large tropical forest surrounding you. You see that the same town that ghost town that you entered stretches out below this temple in a below where you are now, and then after that is another miles and miles of forest, jungle, I should say,
What direction is the shore?
all around you. You do see the ocean surrounding you, pretty much.
Do I? Well, I guess. Do I see the boat?
Um, Give me a perception check.
Please don't suck.
You jinxed it.
No, it's kind of hard as it's very bright out, and in any way you look, you're just being blindsided basically by the intense rays. And it's very hard to tell where the horizon ends and the actual ocean begins.
So you said that the ghost town was to the north.
Technically, where you are now, it is east of you.
To the east. Okay, and then I, does the temple that we're in look like it's like? Is there a large portion of it above ground, or does it look like it's mostly underground
What
right
you see is all you see above ground.
now? Okay. And you said it wasn't that big. I just saw like that little.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's as big as what's on this map.
Okay. And then I will fly back down.
Shing, shing. You all hear loud as metal on metal happens, and the bat wings fall to the ground with a loud crash.
You said that there's a statue in the hole, right?
Yes,
What's it look like?
it is a. It's interesting. There's a beautiful woman reclining on a sofa, but her face seems to be vague and masked or of some kind.
What would it take for me to get that statue?
Hopping down into the pit of silver coins and dead bodies.
Can Kovac
Yum.
what around? How would
That
this
rope that I
be a weapon?
I'm sorry, one at a time, please. What was that, Beowulf?
First.
Can I just use the rope that I had dropped into the other hole and use it to like lower myself down there so I don't have to like touch anything?
Yeah, easily enough. You drop down quickly using your feet to lever yourself down once and then in. And it's weird because it seems like the entire floor is pretty much silver and many other things. But yeah, you're down there.
All right. I want to grab the statue.
All right. It's a marble statue, and it's pretty heavy for how big it is, or how small it is. But it is around this big.
Okay, so I could like.
Yeah, easily enough.
All right, and then I just kind of grab. That's it. Actually, I go.
All right. Give me a perception check before you go back up.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Jeezy P.
Oh my god!
I rolled like.
I make a command
Passive.
for
That
for once.
It's
I use my passive.
as you are about to climb back out, your eyes just catch this jade placard, and on it, it's this man-shaped like bat, and he's a large humanoid with large feathery wings, grotesque fingers, and a face. And the face is staring at you over his shoulder. And as you're about to climb up, you're caught in that gaze for a few minutes. And it's almost like 5 minutes pass before you're even able to break it, unless someone talks to you beforehand.
Sif will reach down and pull Bjolf up when he sees him kind of get eye stuck.
Well, Yeah, I guess you could try. You could give me a strength check because he's not like climbing anymore. He's just standing
Well,
there.
previously to that, when Bjolf started going down, Kovash picks up one of the bat wings and sees if it would function as a weapon.
Not really. It's weighted really funky, and there seems to be still some sort of mechanism swing attached to one end that makes it really unweighty and unwieldy.
He just throws it over here.
All right.
I
Yeah,
probably just
you
pull a
try,
little
but
bit
it
like
seems like he's just dead weight at this point.
yo, snap out of it.
That would snap you out of it.
Is it coming at me or anything? It's just watching.
He's just staring at you like this, like over his shoulder, like hunched over, like he was about to take off or something, and he's staring at you, and it's just this jade placard artwork.
Can Sif see this
So
artwork?
it's not like a three-dimensional thing. It's just a placard with like this man bat on it.
What are you
I got a little
staring at down there?
Everybody sees it. It's this odd Batman bat staring over his shoulder, hunched over.
Oh,
Sif's
Sif's just oh.
Then
Hey
I
guys,
just say in undercommon, is this are you the test or was it just finding this place?
You do not receive an answer in that moment.
So
That
we're
moment, huh?
about a couple of miles west of that ghost town, and where the hell is that? What is going on over there?
Silver. There's lots of silver.
Sif looks back over at Katja and says, "You know, we were just watching the boys attempt to lift an altar for a little while."
How deep was this?
What do you mean?
8 feet.
Dikuth hops in.
All right. You actually
Sif
land
will-
on like the leg bone of one of the lower halves, and it instantly cracks and crumbles.
Sorry, bud. Can I investigate this little pit I'm in? I want to make sure there's no
Yeah, go ahead.
bombs or anything.
Yeah, it
14.
seems interesting. It seems like some sort of just naturally carved out pit. There's those two bodies. After investigating, you notice that the amount of blood that is covering the top layer of silver doesn't match the amount of blood that would be in two human bodies. You notice that it's a shit ton of silver. Like a lot of silver. Like you're standing in silver, moving it around as you're walking through it. And other than that, it doesn't seem to be trapped or dangerous in any way.
These guys must have spilled all their potions before they died.
Yes.
Dead. I'm just dead now.
Dikuth is gonna take a little bit of a closer look at this placard. Actually, I think I'm going to attempt to identify it.
All right. Are you using a spell or are you ritual casting it?
Ritual.
All right. So you're gonna stand there for 10 minutes. All right. Anybody else doing anything in that time?
Sif
Yeah, you're staring at the placard. It doesn't seem to move or change or grab your attention in any way.
I was just gonna scoop
Does-
some silver stuff out
When I
before
when
my
I'm
fly dies.
when I'm looking at this placard and I'm remembering the voice from the tomb, the one I badmouth.
Yes.
Sif's staring at that thing right now. Sorry.
You
Oh my
kind of
god.
just see Dikuth running his fingers over it, just humming to himself.
Alrighty. Anybody else doing anything? Or are you all just staring at this treasure?
But once Dikuth goes down there, I kind of want to take a closer look at the placard myself. Get right up on it and take a good look at it.
The
I call
placard again?
Ketra back. Sorry.
I'll just do like an investigation check on it.
On the placard?
Yes.
It's hard at the moment as you come down and you see that Dikuth is currently like has it in his hand and he's slowly humming and whistling something over it. As
I thought
he's-
it was much bigger. I
Oh.
thought it took up glass
No,
walls.
it's literally probably like one hand can hold it, but it's probably
Okay.
around like this big.
Okay, for sure. I will wait nearby then.
Alrighty. And you were saying, Jellenith? I'm sorry.
Oh, I call Ketra back to me.
Katra is in the process of scooping silver.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
Everybody go down?
You literally, you see Katra like flying in and flying out, and then flying in and then flying out, and I'm assuming you're dropping it all on the ground.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Did
yeah,
you see
you
that?
literally see him just, and as you all watch is like it's not just silver he's grabbing. You see like a lot of these goblets start appearing, like 2, 3, 4, 5. You start seeing these gold-plated statuettes appearing. You see silver chalices and their serving sets appearing as well. Jewelry appears here and there. And then once he like nears the end of his fly, you start seeing a lot of jewelry, and then there's just pearls also beginning to pile out. And then your spell ends. And Dikuth, you get that. Okay, goodness. Okay.
While he has a little bit of time, Sif's gonna step out of the grounds of the temple and is going to not make a attempt to make a full, but is gonna attempt to reach out and see if he can reach out easier than he did inside the temple and inside the tomb to Tempest.
Dikuth, you find out absolutely nothing about the placard itself. But you do find out that there is a spell affecting it. And it's a spell you're unfamiliar with, but you gather that something can see through this.
Dikuth is gonna get Shatter Spike behind it and pry it off the wall.
Oh no, you already have it in your hands, brother. It's
Oh,
it's
I
like
can take it
literally
off,
a
okay.
placard that you can move and yeah, you had to hold it to be able to identify it in the first place.
So guys, creepy thing, something or someone can look through this plaque,
I see it.
and Dikuth throws it out of the pit when you ask that.
Whoops.
I could grab it.
No, it got thrown out of the pit. It's gone.
He threw it into another dimension.
No, it should probably land up there by Koch's.
Alright. Kind of.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry, Bjorn. You asked too late.
I climb out of the pit and go to grab it.
All right. Katra, you got maybe about a tenth of the pit.
So guys.
Maybe a tenth. Maybe not even that.
So guys, we are definitely clearing this pit out of riches, right?
How are we carrying it?
Where's the
mean-
boat?
We could take a couple of days and just like fly him back and forth.
It's the boat.
I didn't find it. It was really bright. It was really bright. Like
Don't
By-
we have,
sun reflects off of water really harshly when you're in the sky.
well,
By
correct me if-
fly, do you mean you will be carrying it back and forth? Because you're the only one who can fly.
Well, technically, I can bestow flight twice per day. Well, I guess if I do some finagling, I can probably get it to like 4 times a day.
Katra. The reason why I ask if you saw the boat is because we have a group of people on the boat who may very well be helpful in transferring things out.
Well, my question is, and I think my life has just been put into danger too much over the past couple of hours.
Sorry.
How, like, do we have enough people to grab everything from the boat while still guarding the boat, and then making sure they're safe, and then taking everything back, while also us doing other stuff and potentially not helping them?
It's called
Yo,
an
how
expedition.
respected are you on the crew?
Did you say?
How respected are you among the crew?
Oof.
Yeah.
But we're the
It's not so much a respect as a general stay away from. You kind of made it a reputation not to be talked to or to talk to people.
Do you think we
Yeah, I
can
started-
convince them?
I think I can convince a couple of them, especially since we share. And and Sif's gonna trail off for a minute and step further away from the temple, and he's gonna try and reach out to Tempest now that he's not in this temple.
Okay.
The connection is strengthened or not.
And what are you doing?
He's just attempting to see if he can make that connection real quick. If he can start to make the connection, he will hold off on making a full connection for now.
You feel no connection at the moment.
Shit.
I have a question for you, Bjolf. If we leave a bunch of treasure at the boat, are they gonna take off without us?
I don't think so.
I was gonna say, what do you think our chances are of convincing most of them to come with us to carry this treasure back to the boat?
What of our
As long as you give them a cut of it, I'm pretty sure that you can get them to do some sort of help.
I ask because I know when the captain was alive, he explicitly said that he and his crew would not set foot on the island, but he's not alive now.
I think if we came back with a good amount of silver and some treasure that we found, they might be a little more willing.
Well, I guess my new question is, how, would we make it back to shore? I mean, other shore, with the treasure, or are they gonna like kill us at sea and then like we've never be heard from again? Because apparently that's a thing. Not like they kill people, but like people never come back from this island.
I mean, if you want to believe old fairy tales.
Sif, don't you have a magical horse?
Sif kind of looks back and, without taking off his helmet, just kind of gives a thumbs up, like a big thumbs up, and then a secondary thumbs up, and then kind of like widens his stance only to give a reinvigorated double thumbs up.
I return your thumbs up with a big cheeky smile.
Oh, takes off the helmet, drops it to his feet for a moment, big cheesy smile. And he takes a nice long breath. Everyone can just see Sif for a moment, just kind of like arms out. Before he will start to make the motions, as he's going to kind of place one hand over his shield on his back. The light spreads to his fingertips for a moment, and as he comes forward, he's just going to kind of reach out, and you can see him like caressing like he's caressing something, but the light trailing on his fingers kind of follows along in the air before the light kind of trickles out and takes the form of. What is the form this time, DM?
A large warhorse.
Is it still white, or is it the black stallion?
No, it's this off brown, smaller, more agile looking horse than the normal warhorse that you've been used to.
Sif will look at it, kind of confused for a second, like examine the legs, look at the trees, and just kind of nod his head. Before he's gonna kind of take the reins, start walking the horse over, and start to take his bag and such and load it onto the horse, and we'll make motions to start helping unload whatever we can onto said warhorse. Can I get stats so I know how much weight?
Yeah, it's a warhorse.
Just normal warhorse. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Ketra, now that you're no longer bringing up all the coins,
Mhm.
did you happen to see the hole that we fell down?
I don't think I did. Right,
'Cause
DM? I didn't see
that-
the hole. It wasn't obvious. DM.
I'm sorry, what?
I was saying I didn't see the hole. It wasn't like an obvious like giant fissure in the earth.
No, you created the giant hole.
I
Right.
created it.
Yeah, well, it was you look and it's a trap door.
No,
Think
not
No,
this
you
one.
mean
I'm
the
talking
hole that
about
we
the one
originally
that we
fell in.
originally fell down in.
That's in the old town.
Yeah, you have no idea where that is at the moment. You'd have to go back and look. But yeah, you
No,
fell through the ground. You're not sure otherwise.
No, well, I was asking. I didn't see it when I flew up there, right?
How would you see it? There's a large town with many streets and overgrown. You have great vision, but you're not like Superman.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't.
And you also rolled a natural one.
That's what I was saying. But also, I meant I didn't know. I thought when you said it, I didn't know. Didn't comprehend it was a large town. I thought it was like maybe like a medium or a small sized town.
You guys walked for like half a day through it before you got even close to the center of it.
I don't remember that.
Okay. I'm just while they load the horse, I'm gonna spend the next 10 minutes casting Wild Cunning.
Okay.
I'm gonna use that to track the tracks of the dog-like creature footprint that I've found.
Okay.
Get an idea of where that's
Sure
going.
thing. So it's heading off in this same direction. Going
Oh,
off.
there's a compass.
Yes.
We can't see it because it's all blacked out from behind
from the,
everything.
yeah. And it heads off in the eastern direction.
Okay. And then well, I don't know it's technically eastern yet as far as and then I'm going to then
No, you could tell.
track the sun.
Yeah, you could tell easily by looking up where the sun's at, what direction you're in.
Is it high noon?
It's just afternoon at this point, yeah. Like
Okay.
just like 1 maybe.
Okay. And do I remember what direction we were traveling in this city to approach the potential direction of the temple?
West.
West. So we need to head back east.
It
To get
was,
back
yeah,
to-
you were coming from a northeasterly direction to the southwest.
Okay.
All right. Okay, I'm good for weights and the horse now. I have it all properly put out.
Alrighty.
Dikuth just is throwing objects out of this pit currently.
Alright. Are you doing just objects or are you doing currency as well?
I mean, I'll start with like the actual physical objects. I'd rather not like
All right.
coins.
Well, there's been a lot of time that has passed, so I'll just actually list the objects that you are
All right.
in the process of working on.
All right. I know the weight for coins, but if for the objects, if you can tell me weights,
Yep.
I can probably do it. Thank you, homie. You are the best. Also, that centaur mummy is beautiful.
You have find 49 silver chased goblets, which all weigh about 2 pounds each. You find 20 gold-plated statuettes of varying weights. We'll say that they are
Gold that's light too.
50 pounds altogether.
Okay.
You find 35 of these embossed silver chalices and serving sets. Those are probably around 5 pounds each with all the serving cups and everything. 80 pieces of jewelry of varying sizes and counts. I spelled jewelry wrong, but that's fine.
Jewelry.
We'll say a pound each, just for sake of convenience. No, we could say half a pound each for the jewelry. I'm sorry.
All right.
And then 50 mother of pearl pieces of jewelry.
Oh, mother of pearl.
And those will be a pound each.
Oh yeah, we're gonna need to take a couple trips. We're not even counting the money yet.
And then you have the jade placard that's around 25 pounds that Dikuth is carrying at the moment. And you have your marble statue, which is around 5 pounds.
And then, how many coins are we talking about? Well, oh god, you know what? Can I just get a weight of the coins? Since I doubt we're gonna count all of them. It's about 50 pounds or 50 coins per pound.
Give me a second. It's around 500 pounds in coins.
Alright, as Sif starts like loading up the horse, he points to the chalices and the gold and say, those are gonna need separate trips on their own. Give me a moment, I will load the horse up to a decent, to mostly full for now, and then we can...
Well, yeah, and you have to keep in mind that your saddlebags can only hold certain amounts as well.
Copy.
And your backpacks and everything. So a saddlebag, for example, Whoops. Well, it's just going to be odd because you can't stuff like 30 chalices into a saddle pack. You know, you're going to have to do 2 or 3 or something.
You can usually stuff about like 5 or 7.
I should also throw out there that we could, that once we make it to the boat, we might be able to get a few more bags and be able to make a much more clean trip.
That makes sense.
Sif also then unloads the rest of said party stuff onto Warhorse, since he has been with it for a while. All right. Okay. We'll do the jewelry and the mothers of pearl first, because the mother of pearls are like, they're like a bit like a little bit bigger than a D20, right?
Carry another 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 85 technically.
Alright, Sif will load in the jewelry and the pearls. The statuettes, are they like about the size of my forearm, or are they like a little bit bigger?
They're all differing sizes.
Okay.
This is not going to be easy. You're maybe going to be able to take like a little bit of the treasure in the saddlebags and on you. It's like I said, you have a saddlebag, but that doesn't account for actual surface area.
Yeah, no, and then I got my back and all that. Yeah, no, we don't have enough to put everything in. So with the jewelry and the mother of pearls, probably don't have too much room left. So I'll probably fill in the gaps with a little bit of the with some of the silver, and I'll let everyone say she's ready. Oh, he'll also offer everyone a ration from the party ration.
I was gonna say, Kovash has a potion of greater healing sitting in his bag that he's gonna drink. Is that 44 plus 4?
Yeah. Yes, sir. There you go. What are the rest of you doing as you are all watching Sif organize his saddlebags and finish up?
I want to climb up out of the hole and grab the tablet that Dikuth threw up there.
Sure.
Just kind of want to settle on over here, then just kind of focus on it. Can I tell what's looking through it, if anything?
Not really. You could give me an insight check if you would like.
Sure. Sounds like fun. Insight this rock.
Your best guess is that it's somebody or something or whatever that they apparently didn't want to see anymore. Make whatever conclusions you want from that, but that's about all you're able to draw, considering that it was locked in a hole.
Hey, yo, what you doing over there?
Just looking at this jade thing.
Why are you looking at
Maybe
it?
we should. Very interesting, don't you think? I hand it to him.
I will take it. What does it look like?
It's actually really interesting. It's really creepy and weird, and it's a large humanoid figure that is an actual bat with long arms, longer than a human's, that goes down near to his ankles, with these 3 long clawed fingers on each hand, with large leathery wings on his back. And he's just looking about to leap into the air, and his head is curled over his shoulders, staring.
Dikuth, what happened to all that stuff that you were looking at when we slept?
You mean when I died?
Yes. I was trying to be polite. Most people don't like talking about when they almost died.
Sif sure talks about it a lot.
No, actually, I don't talk about it a lot. I brought it up once, and starts tightening one of the saddlebags.
I mean, I know you gave a dagger to Katra at some point, but what happened to the rest of it? Didn't you have a lot of stuff?
I mean, I gave it back to its respected owners.
Do I know of any like gods that are depicted as bat people?
Give me a religion check. Not really. You vaguely recall somebody called the Lord of Bats, who was an archfey god at some point in time or another. And the image vaguely fits, but you're really not sure.
And he will turn to Bjolf and be like, "Huh, it's really interesting. I'm not really one that's into all of the like religions or anything. But it kind of reminds me of this Lord of Bats kind of character. I read about him in a book once. Apparently, he's like a fey god.
Sounds super real.
What do you mean? It sounds super real.
Chasm. Want to hold it or should I?
There's an old.
You should hold it for now." And Catcher kind of hastily hands it back, and he's like, "I think I have to go talk to Jelena. I think she's calling," and like walks away.
Meanwhile, Jonathan, it's hard for you to guess, but your anxiety and paranoia tells you it's roughly the same time you got here.
And these are large footprints, right?
Yeah,
Like almost as big as the cat footprints or larger.
probably bigger. Not like by a whole lot, but enough to tell that it is a larger creature than that.
Okay.
Oop, I lost
And they are
people.
clearly heading out of the temple, heading east.
Yeah. They are like wavering around, like you are following correctly. It like wavered around and does like an S further out, but it does eventually hit the tree line where you don't see anything more. You'd have to further travel in. Travel further in.
Got it.
I speak well sometimes. What are the rest of you doing? You all see that Sif is beginning to walk the horse out. You've left now piles of treasure all around this hole.
I kind of surreptitiously drop this tablet into the hole that they climbed up.
Okay.
The silver can I get in my bag? Ash can't count that high, but he effectively just starts piling the coins into his bag until it's full and he can't carry anymore.
Hey, Jelena, what you doing?
Tracking.
One.
Tracking a dog.
Like 85, 95 silver coins. Wait, how much weight do you have left on you?
70?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said something else.
I was gonna say, I was like, wait, I mean, okay.
Yes, no, you're good.
You're tracking it to eat it? Question mark.
No, I'm tracking it to avoid it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just gonna come. I'm just gonna stand here and pretend like I'm talking to you about something meaningful. Or we could talk about something meaningful. Hey, why do you shrink and grow?
It's part of my training as a guardian. Where is this dog going? as I'm
Guardian of
as like you
what?
see me just like walking around in S movements, tracking these footsteps.
You can get like three. Well, you can carry like 3,000 coins. I don't know if you have the space on your person to carry 3,000
That's
coins.
what I was asking him is how many do you think I could get in my bag?
Well, what do you actually have in your bag?
Um, I think I used all my javelins, didn't I?
I mean, I don't think you actually carry them in your bag. You probably have a small quiver that they're attached to.
True. Theoretically, I have my bedroll, my mess kit, my tinderbox, 10 torches, 6 rations, a water skin,
Half of that shit is on the outside or attached on the
rope.
outside.
So
I was
like
just think, I
think
think
like
the
a
only
military
things
pack.
in here are I still have the potion.
Alright, y'all are smart enough. I think it'd be like a couple hundred, right? That you could squeeze into your backpack.
Yep, he could yeah.
Yeah, I would say somewhere around like probably like 200 to like 250.
I'd say 300. You could do 300 in your backpack and it's like bursting almost.
That only added like 10 pounds.
So Jill, you're guardian of what exactly?
We protect the surface from the underbeings who want to destroy it.
The underbeings, like gods, or like monsters, or like a weird sect of people that might be trying to unhinge civilization. In my experience, there's really only 3 types.
It's mostly closely related to that third one. Our purpose is to maintain the balance between of the world. Well, not so much the world, but we maintain the balance of nature, and so we do our best to keep nature in check as well as non-nature things. And so
But how do you know
my
what it's supposed to be where?
you know how sometimes you have a gut feeling about certain things being right and certain things being wrong?
No.
Hmm.
I usually
I guess
just
just
either do things or go off evidence or go off of something I've researched or read in a book. I don't really do I mean, that's usually how I find like new magic. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I should just do this and it works. But other times, yeah,
hmm. How do I explain this? So there are times when civilization works with nature, and then there are times when that balance is thwarted by either nature or by civilization.
so like when someone builds a city too big.
It's not about building a city too big. It's about building a city that doesn't give back to the surface that you walk upon. You can create a large city, but if you're not giving back to the resources that you took, then that city is not going to thrive in the long run. So the idea is to
So
find that balance between nature of what comes out of the ground and what we give back to it.
So it's like giving a bunch of people immortality and then taking them to the astral plane and leaving them there forever would be bad because you're taking away resources from this plane.
What?
Uh,
What?
Right? Well, so you can like planear travel is a thing. I've read about it in books, right? Yeah. You can go to different planes. And sometimes you can leave things in those planes. So like things are just weird. And if you but so like if you can take people there sometimes. So like if you take a person to a different plane and leave them there, they're taking all of the resources that they took with them there and leaving them there and not adding it back to their environment?
Wait, are the people resources in this case?
Well, the people have resources, right? Like um, like tinder boxes and like wood and torches and like rations and like um spell components and like right? I mean, people can be resources. Like you can have them as slaves and then they can build stuff.
Where are you going with this?
I don't know. I was just trying to figure out. I was just trying to figure out how, like your role as a guardian.
My role as a guardian is to help find that balance.
I think we should talk about this later.
I've only been doing this job for 200 years.
How old are you?
Old. Much older than all of you.
On a scale of 1 to 500.
Half that.
250.
Close enough.
Okay. So all that time you've been keeping it, like you've been keeping balance in nature, some way, but you don't. But you just feel this balance. Like you don't like. There's not like a book that's like, hey, this is how you keep this balance, or there's not like, I don't know, like a god that's like, hey, you have to do this. You just kind of like feel it and do it.
I mean, there are gods, and if you choose to worship them, you choose to.
But you didn't say a god was involved in your type of balance. You just said that you feel the balance and you keep it.
Yes, because the gods, the gods don't. The gods are not there to tell you what to do. They're kind of there to kind of help you along the way. So,
if a god told me not to resurrect someone, I shouldn't listen. If I want to resurrect that person.
I mean, if you feel that it's right to do so. Listen, not everybody. All right. So the gods are going to be there whether you want them to be or not. It doesn't matter about what domain you follow. It doesn't matter, what not. The gods are going to be there regardless. So there are the sibling gods of nature, Valinor and Ardawai. Their whole purpose is to, keep nature thriving, and you are part of that whether you want to or not. Some people may heed a stronger calling to worship them or to fight in their name, and other people don't.
Okay, so wait, I don't know anything of like those. I don't know what that means. Like you said, Bellinor and what?
Ardawai, they're the sibling gods. They're the sibling deities of nature. Valinor, the god of the hunt, and Aranai, the goddess the of the of the fields.
So, but what do they do?
They make sure that there's balance. So if they see okay.
So they establish this balance, quote unquote, and then you maintain the balance that they establish.
Yes and no. So our sector, I guess is the right word to use. Our division specifically deals with the corruption that is set upon the surface. So as you have made notice, there have been some trees that kind of destroy and rot everything that it touches.
Sure. I remember they turned some people into, I think, zombies. They're like tree zombies.
Yes. So
and then we burnt the tree.
Yes.
I think we burnt the tree.
I burnt a tree. Yes. Well, I don't know. Did you guys burn the first tree you found?
Ozan did.
Yes. Yes, we did.
Good. Um, so essentially, what these trees do is they corrupt the land, spreading out and create unnatural beings that are not natural to this plane or to this world.
What do you mean by they're unnatural? Because they seemed like they were undeady, and like I'm a bit undeady, and like, but I was like born. Am I not natural to the world?
I don't know. Aren't you just a half elf?
No, I'm human.
Wait, you're a human? Who's the half elf? Hang on. I don't get I don't play. Who's the half elf?
Kovash.
Dikuth and Kovash are both half elves.
So Katra's human.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Laney's
Wait,
the elf is human.
Human?
Yeah.
The party is
Wait.
mostly human
Then why wasn't Katra walking around with a torch?
because he has special things.
Okay.
Special things.
Okay.
Because he's a shadow sorcerer, out of character.
Okay. Back into character. What are we talking about? So, all right, you're not unnatural. Something about being undead. I'm like, so are you undead?
Not really. It's a. I don't know.
So, what are the rest of you? Pause on that for a second. What are the rest of you doing as you hear this philosophical debate around the corner begin to open up?
I'm just kind of sitting here.
Alrighty.
While nobody's paying attention, I'm identifying the scepter.
Sure.
Talking.
We'll get to you in just a second as soon as I figure out what Kovash and Sif are doing.
He's just following him. People are starting to believe he's walking with his pack loaded up.
Alright.
Push to talk. Austin.
What? Oh, I was
Push to
eating
talk?
trail mix.
Tell him push to talk.
Austin is pushed to talk right now, I believe.
God damn it. I've been talking this entire time. Wow. I'm sorry. Sif just led the horse out front. He was waiting for everyone else. He doesn't know which way the boat is. He's not going to start heading off any other specific way. For now, he's just going to kind of trail ahead on the chest piece in his chest plate while leading the horse.
Alright. Dikuth, as you finish your spell, the sudden rush of information is beyond your comprehension. At first, you rush through, and the images that form through your mind, you identify the rod itself. And from what your understanding of the events that happen in your mind, you follow it as it progressed and became what it is today. And at first it was a small, thin silver rod, no embellishments, no markings. Then you see it transform into this feathery, long wooden rod that has many leaves and roots growing around it. Then you see it turn into this small, thin-like dagger, smaller than a normal human hand would ever hold. And then it eventually turns into a small, thick iron rod, and then forms, and skulls begin to form all over it. As soon as that finishes, you're whisked back, and you just feel your whole mind begin to slow down as you picture vast darkness. And in that vast darkness, something is suddenly created. And there in front of you is the large world. It seems like you're floating above and beyond it. And you watch as these massive glaciers begin freezing and cooling off. And you see this large supercontinent happen. And it begins aging rapidly and splitting. And you see many of these purple snake-like dinosaur like creatures begin to walk around the planet that you're looking over, and you see the small silver rod at the head of one of these, in the hand of the head of these snake-like race, and then suddenly jumps to a thin, wispy elf man who's holding this long wooden rod now and is casting something, and you see a large primordial-like essence that takes the shape of a dragon, and it suddenly collapses under its weight. And then you shift to this small dagger, and you find yourself in your vision is shortened and lower, and you're this smaller race that seems to be quickly darting in and out of the shadows, this dagger taking lives in instants and then returning and stealing the magic from them. And then it turns into this human. And for a long time, this human holds on to this rod. Longer than is natural. Longer than is unnatural. Millennia pass, and this human still holds on to it. Until one day, as skulls had started popping over it, the largest skull appears on the handle with thick, red encrusted eyes. And then you come out of your identify spell. Sweat is pouring off of you. You are drenched, exhausted, and you now see all of your allies have turned around and gathered back in the temple as the sun has started to now set, as they have been shaking and trying to wake you, and you have been unable to move and unable to recognize any of their voices this entire time.
Your face itches a bit because Katra definitely slapped you a bunch.
And that's where we'll end today's episode. And we'll pick up next week as Dikuth tries to sort out what just happened to him, and you all take to the jungles of Maztica. So,
Katra tries to understand religion.
Thanks for tuning in, chat.
yes. Thank you, everybody who came in. Thanks for everybody who joined us. We love you all. We'll have news about next week's episode on our social medias, so stay tuned. Please tune in tomorrow at around 11 a.m. for the Illuminati's Game of the Week, which this week is Man-Eater, which is a pretty cool game about being a shark. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm pretty sure we will, just because. But if you guys want to try and find another day or something, we can keep that up in the air as well. But I don't want to force anybody to do anything if it's extra or whatever. But yeah, the group has found their way out of the temple for now. We'll see what happens the next time we join here. I thank all of you for joining us. I thank all my players for joining and sticking around for a very roleplay heavy session today. There's more to come. And also, get your shit together and start rolling better. Like, what the fuck, guys?
We
I've
tried.
rolled so many natural ones in this campaign.
So
Yeah.
many natural ones.
I'm gonna work on that command. Just so you guys wait.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it would have been popping today. But we'll see you all soon. Stay safe out there. Stay healthy. We all love you very much, and we hope to see you the next time.